Hey everybody, this is Scott. We are still working on some audio bugs, as you'll see in just a second. We thought we had it figured out, but we didn't. So next episode's gonna sound great. This episode's gonna sound a little shitty again. Enjoy though.
Okay, let's try that again. you start with this. Wait, no, you start with this as Higher Minds. Go ahead.
So on that note, this is the Higher Minds podcast.
Higher Minds
I'm Scott.
God damn it. Okay. I'm going to respond. You pause. You say you're Scott. No, I'll say I'm Papa Darby first, then you say you're Scott. So that we can back and forth. Okay. Let's try it again.
We should put these at the end of the episode as bloopers.
We should. That's a good idea.
So this is the Higher Minds podcast.
I'm Papa Darby.
And I'm Scott.
How was everybody tonight? That's good.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we like to do that. Silence.
So we have a little bit of a historical episode this week.
Yeah, we did. Further history than... Well, no. I guess Disney was about the same, time.
No.
It started about the same time, didn't it?
This is like 1913.
1916.
1916.
But when was... Disney was born in 19-something, right?
Something. We didn't start doing his movie shit until the 30s, though.
That's right. He was in war at 1919? 1917, right? Because he was 17? He was born in 1900 or some shit?
He was Red Cross.
Well...
Joined the Red Cross.
Yeah. But it was give or take a couple of years around this time that he went over to Europe.
Yeah, he came in the very end of the war. This is kind of what kicked off the American involvement in the war.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So
the topic of the week is the Black Tom explosion.
Black Tom explosion. Does anybody... Okay, show of hands. Who has heard of the Black Tom explosion? Really? All of you? Okay, well, I guess we don't have to do an episode tonight. No, but we see you in the car sitting there.
I get into history. I like to read shit. I had never heard of this until a couple weeks ago.
So you had...
It showed up on a YouTube video of New York City.
It was Mandela Effect.
Mandela Effect, yeah.
Except that it did have some interesting information, but I think the only Mandela Effect topic in there was the Ellis Island, Liberty Island thing. I think everything else he was just trying to fill space.
Yeah, I think they're stretching for some of these Mandela Effect things nowadays.
Yeah.
But I had never heard of this Black Tom explosion until I had seen that video. I think I took a screenshot of that so I could send it to you. I'll try to find it again so we can give credit to the YouTuber that brought it to my attention at least.
Yeah, we should probably do that. But so the Black Tom explosion happened in Jersey City, and I happened to be in New Jersey, and I actually visited the site.
Poor bastard.
It was fucking hot. Oh my god, it's so hot this summer.
You went from shitty Kansas with every other week you're visiting nice, beautiful Colorado.
Yeah.
And now you live on the East Coast, where it is terrible.
And I work so fucking much. Like, everybody here just it's work. That's why we're recording on a fucking Monday night rather than a Saturday morning, because Darby worked all weekend.
Yeah, this, you living more than halfway across the country, it's kind of thrown a rock in our scheduling as far as recording goes.
It has. But we're still trucking. It's still working.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we struggled with the last couple episodes, but we're kind of getting a groove on it, and I think we're kind of figuring out the recording shit of it, so we'll see how this episode goes. I could be completely wrong. This might sound like shit as you're listening to it right now.
It might, but it's not. Not this time. Last one did. This one will sound great. But I want to fucking call out somebody. The fucking last podcast on the left. So, and I bring this up because they record from the East and West Coasts, like, simultaneously, and I want to figure out how the fuck they do that, because they sound great. They sound like they're in the same room. But anyway, so the motherfuckers, I contacted them, and I didn't get a response from Ben Kissel, but I said, check out our stuff. It was fucking nuts that the next episode that they put out was called something that they called a relaxed fit, and is the same fucking format that we do. And then this last episode that I heard was them talking about how actors go into Saturday Night Live for auditions, and then Saturday Night Live steals their characters they audition with and use them on the show. So, things that make you go,
Who the fuck watches Saturday Night Live?
I do. Well, I
That
watched
shit hasn't been funny since Chris Farley died.
the sketches. The new season, the new cast, they're decent. But I mainly watch it for Weekend Update. They're always on point. No, they suck through the 90s. Now Michael Che and the white guy, they're good.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It has Keenan and or Cal on it. I don't know which one is which.
Keenan. It's Keenan.
Keenan? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only person on SNL right now that I have any idea who the fuck he is. And that's only because I watched him when I was a fucking kid.
You know the chicks that were in the new Ghostbusters? Except for McCarthy?
If you say so. I haven't seen the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, it's good. It's great, actually.
If you say so. It doesn't have the fucking original Ghostbusters in it, so it's not a Ghostbusters movie.
It doesn't need to be a Ghostbusters movie or good. It's good. Anyway. Hey, what are you smoking on?
This week I got a little bit of Slang Sour Diesel going on.
Oh, I'm so jealous. That's another thing about the East Coast. Fuck. What the fuck is up with this shit? Like, I can travel to Massachusetts, I suppose, but that's 3 fucking hours away.
As of the day that we're recording this, what the fuck is today? Monday, July 29th. New York just decriminalized cannabis.
Oh, did they? Yay!
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
was
just
saying...
sent something over here today. I shared it to our Facebook page. But,
Did you?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it. I've been working. So then I'll say that I actually ended up smoking some weed in New York last weekend, or the last time I was there. And now
With your gay clubbing buddy?
yes, with him.
Yeah. How's he doing?
Good. We're supposed to hang out in a few weeks, and I'm actually supposed to go to a Last Podcast on the Left show with him in next month in New York. So hopefully that works out.
Like a recording or what?
So they do live shows where I don't know what they're like. So I'll go
Because
find out.
Kevin Smith does his in front of an audience. In front of an audience too. His Batman Beyond. They do that in front of an audience.
All of them?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
They do it from the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which I think is the fucking best name for a bar ever.
What's it called?
Scum and Villainy Cantina.
Scum and Villainy. Well, that's
It's a
intense.
play on the Cantina from Star Wars.
Oh, I get it. Cool.
Turn in your nerd card.
Yeah, my bad. So anyway,
So, Black Tom.
Mr. Black Tom. Mr. Tom?
Yeah. African American Tom.
When did that happen? The explosion, that is.
July the 30th, 1960.
What?
And I think this episode is dropped on the 30th, isn't it?
31st, actually.
Shit, we're a day late on it.
We're a day late.
So, yesterday was the, 103rd anniversary?
Yep, 103.
If you're listening to this the day that it comes out.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. It will be edited on the anniversary.
Yeah, it'll be edited on the anniversary.
So, but 1916 was 2 years after the start of World War I, and Black Tom was a munitions...
Before the U.S. involvement in World War I. And no, you're still wrong, because the U.S. got involved in 1917. Oh, no.
No, 1916.
End of 1916.
Yeah, the attack occurred... When did the war start? 1914, right?
I don't know. That was going on the other side of the planet.
That's
something we should probably have here, though.
Yep, we should have known that. What? When?
I fucked up and set my wireless keyboard down where I can't reach it. It's wireless.
So 1914. Oh, in fact, July 28th, 1914.
1914. Okay.
Yeah, so it was 2 years after the start of World War I was the Black Tom explosion.
Oh, I thought you said 2 years before.
No.
Yeah, 2 years before.
Did I say before? Maybe I might have, but it's 2 years after the start of World War II. World War I.
The Black Tom explosion, like we said, happened July the 30th, 1916. Black Tom Island was a depot that the U.S. used for munitions.
Now, I want to say that Black Tom Island is not actually an island. It's just kind of a jutting out right next to...
No, it's kind of a peninsula.
Yeah. It's across the water from Liberty and Ellis Island.
Right. An estimated 2 to 4 million pounds of explosives.
Wow.
Have been stored on Black Tom.
I didn't get that stat. Wow.
A time-delayed bomb set off the first 100,000 pounds of TNT
at
Ellis Island, who, like you said, was just across the water from it.
Mm-hmm.
They had to evacuate Ellis Island, which is where, at the time, all the immigrants came into the country. That was the processing station for the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
500 immigrants were moved over to Manhattan following the explosion. It blew windows out of buildings as far as Fifth Avenue. Where that is from there, I have no idea. It's been a long time since I've been in New York.
Wow.
Jersey City caught on fire because of it. Shrapnel was sent 2,000 feet away, hitting and damaging the Statue of Liberty. Growing up, do you remember that you were told that you used to be able to go up to the torch of the Statue of Liberty, but now you can't? You can only go up to the crown thing?
Yep.
Black Tom explosion is why you can't go to the torch anymore.
And I discovered that, and that's super interesting. I didn't realize that. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool at all, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that I never heard of this explosion before, but I knew of repercussions from this explosion, like not being able to go up into the torch.
And that's like a major
I just
repercussion.
never knew that's why.
Yeah. So,
it ends the arm, some of the skirt on the statue, and that was July the 29th, 1916 was the last time you were able to go up into the arm.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of far away. I'd say it's probably 500 yards away. I mean, 5 football fields away from like Black Tom Island, where the depot is stationed, to the Statue of Liberty. Like, it's.
When I had read it was about 2,000 feet, so.
I don't know, whatever it is. I'm estimating. So Black Tom was once a small island, it says. It was the single most important assembly and shipping center in America for munitions and gunpowder being sent to the Allies. However, the Americans were technically neutral during the war. Therefore, the Americans sold not only to the Allies, they sold to everybody, but mostly the Allies.
Right. Yeah, at this point, the U.S. was still neutral as far as World War I went. We were favoring the Allies, obviously, but we'd sell guns to whoever wanted to buy them.
Yeah. So, like you said, it was a time delay. There was 2 explosions. The first explosion was at 2:08 a.m. The second explosion was an hour and a half later. And I wonder if it's one of those situations where, and I'm sure it is, but where they allowed they did the first explosion and then allowed rescue workers to come in and help out and then blow them up too.
Yeah, I don't know if they went it that way or if the second explosion was just a result of fires from the first one.
Yeah, it could have been either or. Either way, super effective. 5 people were killed, including a baby who was thrown from his crib in Jersey City.
Yeah, I read hundreds injured, but surprisingly, it's not as big as this explosion was only 5 dead.
Yeah, well, so...
I mean, it's kind of a good thing it happened at 2 a.m. and not in the middle of the work day or whatever, I guess.
Right. I mean, the goal was not to hurt people. The goal was to stop munitions from being sent to the enemies.
Right.
And it caused $20 million in property damage, which is about $500 million in today's money.
Yeah, I read that it had thrown shrapnel up to a mile away.
Wow. Wow. That would not have felt good.
This explosion was enough to register a 5.5 on the Richter scale for finally too.
Wow. So yeah,
there were people 90 miles away from the sound of it.
So
this was a big ass explosion, and somehow it's not taught in history books in public schools at all.
I mean, considering the long, we feel the effects today. Considering the Statue of Liberty, I don't know why it wouldn't be taught.
Right? You would think at least there's a little footnote when they tell you that you used to be able to go open the torch, but now you can't because there's a big fucking explosion.
Yeah, I've never heard that because before.
And this is kind of, I suppose you could call this a terrorist attack. Like, this is the first major foreign attack since, like, the Revolutionary War, really.
Well, where is the line between terrorist attack and, military attack? Is there no difference, but...
Planting bombs is a terrorist attack, whereas if you're dropping them from an airplane, you can make the argument that it's a military attack.
Or it's really whatever, whoever the stronger power is, whoever the eventual winner is dictates who the terrorist is.
Yeah, history's written by the winner, so...
Yeah. So there was a guy named Jules Whitcover who wrote a book called Sabotage at Black Tom. Whitcover says, the Black Tom promontory was a charred ruin. 13 huge warehouses were leveled and 6 piers destroyed, and fires continued to eat their way through the remains and consume hundreds of railroad cars and barges tied to the docks. At one point, a huge caravan was hewed out of the earth by an explosion of some 87 dynamite-laden railroad cars. 87 dynamite-laden railroad cars. Like, is it even legal today? Like, they don't do that anymore, right?
I used to be a truck driver, so I used to know all the hazardous material rules, and those pretty much weren't a thing at this time.
No.
Like, you didn't have to have anything labeled or safe or anything. It's a few explodey shit right there, that's fine.
Yeah, who cares if it blows up and, turns everybody into zombies?
Oh, there's zombies from this? Did I miss that part?
No, I'm adding the zombies because that's fun. Like, that's... Anyway.
Zombies make everything better.
That's true. You ever made love to a zombie? I haven't, but I hear it would be great. Anyway. To continue the quote, the blast excavated a hole so deep that it extended below sea level. Water seeped in until a vast pond was created, strewn with the wreckage. So, I mean, New Jersey's pretty much below sea level anyway, but still, it'd be like...
Was it a common natural island, or was it one of the garbage islands that they have over there? Do you know?
I don't know specifically, but, like, I think it's a natural one, like, because you can kind of tell which ones are which, like, when you're, like, sitting there looking at it. So I think one of the natural ones.
Okay. There's a couple in that area over there that are just made out of garbage.
Yeah, and you can tell. There's like when you're there, there's dikes and stuff, and oil rigs and like surrounding the area, those areas.
You went to the side of the explosion, right?
I did. Today there, and I'll post pictures of this, but there's a park with like picnic tables, and there's a little visitor center, and I want to hear you rail against the government. So I went to go talk to a historian about this, but the city of New Jersey requires you to get permits to talk to one of the historians and record it. So we didn't do that. Go.
The city, like Jersey City, or the state, Jersey?
I don't know who made that rule, which one, but Jersey's in the name.
I mean, either way, it's government limiting your right to free speech. How is that? Wow.
Didn't we learn anything from the fucking explosion? Free speech.
Most of the northeast area likes to steal your rights from you and sell them back to you in the form of licenses and permits. So, like, any way to make money?
Yeah. I mean, this breathing tax that they pay is fucking ridiculous.
Well, I mean, who the fuck wants to breathe it anyway? The entire state smells like the water. The entire state smells like the water at the bottom of the trash can.
New Jersey?
New Jersey. Every time I've ever been to New Jersey, it just fucking smells terrible. I don't know how people live there.
I haven't experienced that. But I'm impressed.
It's been a couple years since I've been through there, but yeah, it smells like the water at the bottom of the garbage can.
Well, like, so where I'm situated, though, is pretty close to the coast, and it's like a more upscale area, because, that's where my jobs usually sit. So
you're going to grow your hair out and go all Jersey Shore on us?
Yeah, have spray tans and shit. And
that spray tanner? Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of pass for Italian. I can pass for Sicilian. I have before.
You put some gold chains on, you'd be alright.
So,
pumping like a motherfucker. That does explain you hanging out clubbing all night with your friends, so.
I mean,
the transformation has already began.
I mean, they have, better abs, so. I guess I'll try, whatever. Anyway,
I'm going to hang out right here in Colorado.
I would rather too.
Doesn't smell terrible. Weed, sunshine, mountain views.
It doesn't smell terrible. Are you sure about that? You've been to Greeley. Sorry, no offense.
Yeah.
We love Greeley. Greeley people are great, but come on, you guys got that shit farm.
Worse than Greeley, actually, I think it's Campion. Right when you get to the Campion exit 25,
yeah.
It just hits you.
I mean, God bless you farmers and stuff, but damn. Yeah, you need to ban.
Yeah, Greeley's farther east than me. I don't get the smell from Greeley. The wind blows the other way.
No. But Loveland, Fort Collins, Longmont, Denver, great places.
Denver sucks. Way too much traffic.
We love Denver. Oh, fucking traffic, goddamn. Like, no.
Yeah, how's the East Coast traffic?
Oh, I fucking hate it so much. Like, nobody gives a fuck.
The difference is, East Coasters know how to drive in traffic.
I mean, they're really good at defensive driving, but, like, you can get pulled, like, somebody will pull right in front of you, like, just because.
That's
like,
your fault for leaving a hole big enough for a car to exit.
No, it's not. I mean, it's not even that. You don't have to leave a hole, and they'll still fucking do it. Like, it's either you hit them or just don't move. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
6 inches from the bumper in front of you. That's all you need. Me, my mom, my dad went through Chicago to pick my sister up from boot camp years ago, and I drove. And we hit Chicago right at rush hour. Yeah. And I fucking 6 inches from the bumper in front of me. Nobody gets in, whatever. And I'm telling my parents, fucking nuts. And they're like, did you let people in? I'm like, no, because they'll do fucking dumb shit as soon as you let them in. The guy in behind is making good decisions. I'm staying behind him.
I mean, people in Manhattan will fucking still get in front of you with 6 inches. Fucking buses will get in front of you with 6 inches.
I drove a semi through there, and I got in with little over 6 inches.
See, you're part of the problem.
Yep, legal trailer, 53-foot trailer behind it.
So at first,
I needed over to make an exit or whatever, and the guy I was feeding with, he goes, "Where's that car at over there?" And I'm like, "It's right by my door." And he's like, "Yeah, that's enough. Let's fix a pump bumper and no stop."
Yeah.
That's where I learned the classic game of my car safer than your car. Nobody wants to get in an accident. They're with a brake.
So, at first, it was thought that the explosion was due to incompetence. It took years to figure out whether it was caused by a safety violation or not. Persistent lawyers eventually found out that it was Germans who did it. Or Krauts. Are we allowed to say Krauts? Can we say Krauts?
Kraut?
Jerry's?
What's another derogatory German name?
Is that really derogatory, though?
I don't know.
I guess if we have to question it, it is.
Krauts and Jerry's, and what the hell else did they call them? I think there's a third one. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to watch some Band of Brothers now and brush up on my German slang words.
So, in 1939, they finally figured out that it was the Germans that did it, and this is 23 years later. The lawyers sued Germany and won. However, Hitler was in power and failed to pay the settlement, which was renegotiated in the 50s. The last payment was made in 1979.
How much money did they pay? Did you catch that?
I could not find that. I looked for it, but either I looked in the wrong spots or that information is not available.
You know what they initially blamed the explosion on?
Yeah, incompetence. They thought it was people weren't following the safety rules. They actually arrested some of the workers.
On mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes?
I guess workers had what they call smudge pots, which are just mosquito repellent candle things. And they suspected that there were so many mosquitoes in one of these pots, and it got knocked over or something and made the explosion.
Oh. I didn't hear that, but I know that they went through a lot of different theories. Yeah, some of the employees got arrested for things ranging from actual just straight up sabotage, and some were arrested for incompetence. None of that was true, though. So that's what I got.
And then Woodrow Wilson tried to put this whole damn thing on the rug just to remain neutral, I'll say. Number one. I had read that even before 1930, whatever the fuck when you said that they decided the Germans did it, that there was a lot of suspicion that the Germans did it anyways. And he just kind of brushed it under and blamed it on these smudge pots or whatever. Woodrow Wilson's a real big piece of shit. I don't know what you know about him, but
I don't know much about him.
He's possibly like the worst president ever.
Really? How so?
He's the one that started the federal income tax. So,
fuck that dude.
Fuck that guy right there.
Fuck him in his ass.
The Revenue Act of 1913.
Damn.
Yeah, that was literally like one of the very first things he did. Like he got into office and went, let's tax the fuck out of people.
Did he ran on that, didn't he? He must have. I guess he did. Must have. Ran on that he would raise taxes, but never mind. Politicians usually don't run on that.
Later, he implemented the estate tax, so taxing shit that you already own. And he would eventually raise the top-end tax rate to 77%.
Did you say that estate tax?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I agreed with Bush too, like one of the only things I agreed with Bush too, was that I think he eliminated that to a certain point. Like I think you have to inherit more than like 200 million or some shit like that for that tax to kick in.
I don't know, tax laws are always changing in the damn country. Like, one president does one thing, the next president completely fucking reverses it and adds on more, takes more off, or whatever. Like, it's fucking change. Like, a flat tax, if you're gonna tax it all, a flat tax is the fucking way to do it.
I agree, but...
Or a consumption tax. People who earn more naturally spend. Like, fucking just do a sales tax.
I agree. Except that their presidents never take away taxes. They always add taxes. There's never been a time where tax has been repealed. They
literally just said that Bush lowered the estate tax.
They say that it was repealed, but then it's increased in another way. He increased taxes on the middle class after a while, which offset the estate tax. So they lower tax brackets, but they don't actually decrease the amount of taxes the individual pays, ever.
Ron Paul said it best. Taxation is theft.
That's not Ron Paul, is it?
That's the guy that should have been president and would have fixed a lot of the shit that we're dealing with today.
I don't... Okay.
If you go back to, like, 2012, if we'd elected him, it would be a little different.
The issue is he's there's no compassion with him. And I want compassion in my...
It's not the government's job to be compassionate.
The government's job is to govern people, and people require compassion.
The government's job is to steal money and kill people.
That's what they do. It's one of the things they do.
That's what they do. That's the only thing they're good at.
But
moving on from the tax.
What? This isn't a show about taxes? We talk about taxes.
Yeah, somehow we're an explosion in argument about taxation. Moving on, though, Wilson also implemented the Federal Reserve Act. So he's the one that made your money worthless.
Is that the one that took it away from the gold standard?
The Federal Reserve Act is the one that set up the federal bank.
Right, but
on your money, it says Federal Reserve note. It doesn't say silver dollar.
Right.
Or silver certificate.
Right. So yeah. So that in that action, it was taken away from the gold standard or silver standard or whatever the fuck it is, right?
It wasn't the gold standard. I don't know when exactly the gold standard ended. That ended at the same time. But I know we still use silver in our coins up until 1964.
Yeah, I mean, technically you still could if people would accept it. I would accept it. If you got gold or silver, yeah, I'll take it as payment.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change in value. An ounce of silver now will buy you the same thing an ounce of silver 50 years ago will buy you. It's based on an actual thing. Nowadays, the U.S. dollar is acted like nothing more than the U.S. military. It has no gold standard or anything like that. Use our dollar or we'll kill you.
And the police and the courts.
Well, I'm saying on a world, like, any time a country drops the U.S. dollar, Libya, for example, we fucking go in there and kill them. Iraq, we went in there and killed them. It is use our dollar or we will kill you.
So, this is an uplifting episode. Explosions and death.
Some more shitty Woodrow Wilson did. Federal Trade Commission Act. He allows segregation within his cabinet. He was named out of the League of Nations.
He allowed segregation within his cabinet?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of... Oh, segregation. Never mind, I was thinking... Huh, okay.
Just okay?
No, not okay at all. No, I was thinking that you were saying that he had like a multicultural cabinet, but that's the exact opposite of what you said.
No. His cabinet and the people in his cabinet, their departments and everything, he allows them to be segregated.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson was a real piece of shit. Here's one that comes back to Colorado here. In 1914, Wilson ordered soldiers to the Colorado Coalfield War, which was a labor dispute going on between coal miners in a railroad, I think it was. Those soldiers raided a tax city and killed up to 200 people.
Jeez. Fucking
So he might, I'm not positive, he might be the first U.S. president to use U.S. military force against U.S. citizens since Abraham Lincoln.
Interesting.
Yeah, Fort Worth was a real big piece of shit.
Well, damn. You got any more, Wilson?
No, I'll call it a day on Wilson there.
Okay. You know who also is a piece of shit?
Who else is a piece of shit? I mean, not people are a piece of shit, but who's on your mind that's a piece of shit?
This is not a real character. This is a fictional person, but Black Tom Cassidy. He is a villain on Marvel. He was featured in the second Deadpool movie. If you remember.
Okay, yeah. I remember Black Tom from Deadpool.
So, do you know what his powers are?
Does he explode? Because that would be awful convenient.
What's that?
Does he explode? Because that would be awful convenient for the namesake.
So, kinda, his original principal power was that he could generate blasts of heat through a wooden medium, such as a shillelagh that he often carries. That's fucked up. Fucking Stanley, goddamn.
Similar to Gambit and his staff.
Yeah, except the Gambit can do it with everything.
Right.
But Black Tom...
So he's like Gambit, but less cool.
Yes, and eviler, and a direct fucking reference to an American tragedy.
You do kind of give the writer props on that one, though. But
yes, it's darkly funny. I laughed when I found that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I don't know. There wasn't much. What's that?
Is he like part of the X-Men, or what is he?
No, was part of the Brotherhood Mutant Brotherhood. What's it called?
Oh, maybe it was
Brotherhood of Mutants. Yeah, he was on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he was partners with Juggernaut in the comics, mostly until Juggernaut switched sides.
Wait, Juggernaut switched sides?
Eventually, that's what this is saying. But I don't remember that.
X-Men knowledge comes from the cartoon movies. Like, I never got into reading comic books ever.
No, I read the X-Men and Spider-Man comic books in the 90s, and that's it.
In my problem with comic books is I don't know where the hell to start. Like, I'm not going to go back 30 years and start at the beginning, but I don't want to just jump into the middle of a fucking story.
Although stories back then were a lot better than stories now. Like, they had a lot, like the actual like creativity and the I don't know. I use the mental story, not so much the action or the images of the story were so much richer back then. Like if you watch old Twilight Zones, like those stories are so good as opposed to stories that are written today.
I just realized the other day that Hulu has all of the Twilight Zone episodes on there.
Do they?
I'm slowly going through and finding ones that I've never seen before.
How many are there?
I've seen a shit ton of them, but there's a handful here and there that I've missed over the years somehow.
Huh. I know I haven't seen all of them. I've seen the major ones, like the Twilight Zone movie from the 80s.
See, I don't fuck with any of the movies or anything. Just the old, original black and white Twilight Zone.
Well, I mean, you're missing out. There is some good stuff.
I don't know if they still do. Sci-Fi Channel used to run those all day, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I'd wake up hungover from New Year's Eve the night before and watch Twilight Zone all day.
I haven't seen anything on the Sci-Fi Channel, like a sci-fi original, that I've liked in a decade. Like, I think they suck so far for a while. I used to watch them all the time. But Sharknado, come on. That's
I honestly can't tell you the last time I watched regular, like, broadcast TV.
Fair enough. I'm watching it right now, but that's because I'm in a hotel.
No, I stream everything nowadays. I don't even have cable on my place. It's internet.
Yeah, I stream most everything. I watch network TV for the news, and that's about it.
News. Who the fuck watches news?
Old people.
That's what the internet's for.
Well,
I want to know what happened 3 hours ago. I'd have read about it 3 hours ago. I don't need to wait for the evening news to tell me what happened.
I don't know. It's
If I want to know what happened yesterday, I'd have fucking looked it up yesterday.
I don't know. I like waking up to the Today Show. I think it's probably because I grew up with that. And then I like watching the nightly news, probably because I grew up with that. I don't know. It's comforting. But I'm always reading news constantly, like every single day when I'm not working.
I don't know. Current events don't interest me as much as historical events, I guess.
Oh, well.
I spend my time reading old shit, I guess.
No. Like, Boris Johnson just became the PM of Great Britain, which is going to be disastrous.
That's the discount Donald Trump that's all over Facebook.
Yeah, smart Donald Trump. Yeah.
They got one of their own now. They've been talking shit about ours for all these years. Now you got one of your own.
Well, except that this guy, he has the same like temperament and like ideology as Trump, but he's a lot smarter. Like he's a lot more capable.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't act like it, and that's why he gets lumped in, because the stupid hair. He has the same ideology, but yeah, he's a much more savvy politician.
See, I don't live in England, so I don't care who's in charge of England.
I mean, shit that happens there affects us too.
On the same note, I do live in the U.S., and I don't really care who's in charge of the U.S. either. So.
Yeah. 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 Anyway, you seem to care about Woodrow Wilson.
Did you see that short guy who was taken around everywhere a week or two ago? He's in like a New York deli.
Oh, the one that was, they got pissed off at...
You're not my boss, or my dad, or...
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The dude asked him about, like, how tall he was at the store. And he got all fucking pissed.
Little guys, like, I'm only 5'9", I'm not tall by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm all firmly in the average area.
Yeah.
But fucking short guys get so pissed off when you point out that they're short.
Yeah, they do. Well, some of them. I mean, can you imagine though, growing up?
You met my roommate, he's a little guy, he's like 5'6", 130 pounds.
The English dude?
But if you point out to him that he's like 5'6", 130 pounds, he gets a little fucking attitude.
You mean the English kid?
Yeah, the English kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Fucking 22, 23 years old.
You're still a kid.
He's not a
No, you're not a kid, but
he just looks like he's 16.
Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't had that much interaction with him. But anyway, I don't know. That's what I have on Black Tom. There's not too much out there. Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, no, that's all I have on Black Tom.
What?
Huh? That's all the information that
You know what?
Oh, I was going to say, I do have that placard that was posted at the park, but we've already went through all that information. There's nothing on it.
Is there anything better, or is it just like a little plaque and a little park area?
It's a park. The ground is...
Like, is there one of those historical things where it shows what it looked like 100 years ago or whatever, and on this date in 19, whatever the fuck, and...
Yes, there is one of those, but it's chintzy and it's not very helpful. It's not very informative. If you want more information on Black Tom, listen to this episode. But yeah, the area itself though, it looks like it's still charred. Like the ground is black, which is, I don't know if that's why they call it Black Tom Island, or because of the explosion, or just because they want it to look that way, but... Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm curious. It's black sound because it has like black soil.
I don't know.
Or if that's legit still charged from 103 years ago.
I don't know. But anyway, that's what I got. You got anything else?
No, I think that wraps up what I have there.
Cool. So if you want to listen to this episode, where would you?
What?
If you wanted to listen to this episode, how would you do it?
Well, if I wanted to listen to it, I'd just pay attention when we were talking to it.
Pull it like a
listeners want to listen to it. They can find us at a number of different places. HigherMindsPodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
We're on SoundCloud.
We are on SoundCloud.
We're on Stitcher.
We are on Stitcher. Higher Minds Podcast on Stitcher.
Did you get on iTunes yet? We're still working on that one.
We're still working on iTunes.
Okay. So we're not on iTunes. Disregard that. Where are we on?
HigherMindspodcast at gmail.com.
Email.
We are on YouTube, you're right.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Twitter. Instagram.
On Instagram.
I think that hits all of them.
I think that is. You can Google us.
Yeah.
We're there.
HigherMindPodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
Facebook, Instagram. I almost said Pinterest, but I know that's not right. I don't know what Pinterest is.
And you know what? We have a small following of listeners, and I want to say thank you guys. Like, thank you. Thank you for putting up with all the bad audio, bad jokes, our dumbassery, and keep on listening. There'll be more.
Yeah, if you followed us this far along, you're in for the long haul. Enjoy.
Our moms.
If you made it through the last couple episodes with the terrible audio quality, I want to thank you for it. We're trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
It's not easy doing a show when you're fucking 2,000 miles away from each other. So.
You know, there's a lot more work into putting together a show than I thought anyway. Like, oh my, there's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you guys.
There's a lot of little cutting and editing and adjusting this and unadjusting that.
And dealing with the stupid pops when you plug in your phone. I don't know if you can hear them, but I can hear them.
No, I didn't come through on my end. It's just on your end.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
But I have shitty ears and cell phones are kind of quiet, so I just have a straight up hard time hearing you sometimes. Even with the volume on my phone all the way up. So.
Oh. You have headphones on?
Loud concerts and hot rods and motorcycles and shit. Speaking of concerts, fucking Scold is playing Denver on my birthday. I got my ticket the other day. I'm super pumped.
I'm still trying to go. I don't know, and I can't promise anything. Watch, there'll be some weird something that happens that makes me end up there anyway.
Yeah, it's on a Monday, so like I get it if you can't make it, but it'd be cool if you did. It's gonna be a good show.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go without you if you don't come, so don't feel bad if you don't.
Anybody else going?
No, just me. I couldn't talk H&K into it either.
Yeah, that's not really their scene.
Their kind of music.
Yeah. I don't know what that kind of music is. Hi, H&K. They're listening.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
I haven't listened to it, I guess.
What's that?
He said something that I just hung out with him a couple days ago, and he had said something to me about something that we had said on the show.
Oh, really?
So, he's apparently listening to us. He's one of our 12 listeners.
Thank you. Oh, you know what actually happened? So somebody that I went to high school with, who doesn't know that this is me, started following us.
Are you sure they don't know it's you? They don't recognize your voice?
Not 100%. And shoot, I haven't talked to those people in 20-some years, so I'm sure they don't recognize my voice.
Somebody you still keep up with or whatever?
No. She just kind of popped in on our list, and I was like, no way. Anyway, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. If you're listening, thank you for.
She hot. Are you gonna try to use your big podcast celebrity to get with her?
No, that'll get me too'd, and I don't know. That's not what I'd like to use this for anyway.
Sorry, Stephanie. No Darby for you.
Oh, sorry, Steph. That's fucked up. Yeah, no, it's she should probably it's best for her. But yeah, Stephanie and we went to high school together.
This is weird. I was going through my friend list on Facebook the other day, just cleaning out shit that I don't talk to or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling, and I see a name, and it dawned on me that was the first boob I had ever touched.
Nice. First boob. Who was the first boob? I think it was Beth. No.
Beth?
Beth? Yeah.
Mine was a Morgan.
I knew a Morgan.
Mm-hmm. It was like, I don't know, 7th or 8th grade. First
Nice.
boob.
Nice.
Yeah, good times.
Anyway, this has been Higher Minds Podcast.
Oh yeah, we wrapped this up like a fucking while ago, didn't we?
Well, we started to, but then we started bullshitting. No, I am.
Yeah, so, Higher Minds Podcast.
Higher Minds Podcast.
Deuces.
Deuces.